I'm here at Swiss Connection Watches and I'll be building a watch collection. Let's have some fun. Esther,
Yeah, Abdullah.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So, explain to me where we are right now.
Right now you are here the Swiss Connection Watch. So we have been in this industry for 12 years, and we are not only sell the watch, but we also offer the buy, trade, and consignment as well.
Wow, okay. So you have new watches, you have pre-owned watches.
Yes.
And I have to say, like, I've bought a watch from here and I wanted to bring this to you guys because there are times when, you're just here for a few days, you want to buy a watch right there and then. Sometimes they have to bring it from a different place, sometimes it's not available. This is a great place to just walk in and just pick out a watch that you want right there and then.
Yes, you can get it on the spot if you like the watch.
Awesome. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna make a watch collection of 5 watches. So that will be dress, dive, fun, grail, and I'm forgetting one more. Every day.
Yes.
Right? And here's what I'll do. I'll choose 3 watches, 3 that I really like,
Okay.
and then I'll pick out the best one from those, my favorite one from those.
Okay, sure.
Awesome.
So let's move on.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So for my dress watches, I've picked out 3 watches that I'm very confused about. I kind of want all 3 of them. The first one is a Cartier Santos Medium. This is the epitome of a dress watch, but nowadays you can still wear this with a t-shirt. You can wear it with jeans. It has that versatility to it, and it's not that chintzy, it's not that small, but it just works, especially for a small wrist like mine. And then you have the SPGA 415 Grand Seiko Spring Drive, which again isn't necessarily a dress watch. It has kind of that everyday versatility to it with 100 meters of water resistance, titanium case. And then there's a third piece, which I've always found really fascinating and almost underrated in a way, because with Grand Seiko, most of the attention goes into Spring Drive, but this is their automatic and this is their Elegance GMT. 39mm case, this is just a gorgeous style. So I'm gonna have to make some hard choices because I love all of them. Now for my dive watch, I have the Omega Seamaster 300 in white, which I think is just one of the best white dials on a dive watch. It just contrasts so well with the ceramic bezel. And even though it's 42mm, it sounds large, but Omega watches do tend to wear well even on smaller wrists because of that case curvature. So I was expecting this to be much bigger than it is, but it's a strong contender. And then of course, I want to talk about Tudor Pelagos. Now I would not choose a Submariner because it's just the most obvious choice. I want something a bit more underrated, and this Tudor titanium, this would be a great choice. Pelagos 39, perfect dimensions, perfect case, just a rugged, robust tool watch. And the third choice is the Omega Seamaster 300 Heritage. Now this is a slightly dressier option with the Seamaster, within the Seamaster line, and also the most underrated. I don't think that a lot of people know about this. This reference is based on the 1957 Seamaster. So there's a lot of skin dive, vintage dive watch inspirations here, and I love that. I love that about this watch. So for the everyday watch, there's no better option here than Rolex. And I've got 3 watches here. The first one is the definition of a watch. If you Google a watch, or if you check a dictionary definition of a watch, this is what I imagine a watch looks like. reference 116000, 36 millimeters, clean, white dial. It's just the perfect watch for everyday use. Somebody that's looking for a boring watch, right? But boring in a good way. You don't want too many things. You don't want to think about a lot of stuff. A good looking, everyday, versatile watch, this is it. Next up, we have the Rolex Explorer 1. And this is one of my favorite underrated Rolexes out there. More than the Submariner, more than the Daytona, any of the sports models. I personally love this, and it's kind of one of my styles. Now the 124270 has an updated caliber, so this has 70 hours of power reserve, anti-magnetic, just a great everyday tool watch. And then we have the 124200. This is a slightly smaller option, but I just love this blue dial. Even at this size, it gives it that vintage look, and it fits almost like a 35 on my wrist. I've gone with the dress watch, I'm done with the everyday, the dive watch. Time for the fun piece, time for the watch that makes you smile, or makes me smile. First up, we have Ming GMT. This is such a cool watch. It's not something that I've seen before because these are incredibly hard to get. And I just love the 3 dimensions on the dial, right? The depth is just such an incredible size, and everything about it is, it's just a cool watch. And then you have a brand that I didn't fully understand in the beginning. I'm just loving this brand more and more every day, and that is the Bell & Ross Alan Silberstein edition. This is a fun watch. Lastly, we have the Girard-Perregaux Casquette. This is the updated version. It's a bit more futuristic, a bit more modern, almost brutalist in its design. It just brings quartz, digital quartz watches to a whole new level, and is just such a cool watch. For the final watch, we are looking at the big boy, the Grail watch. Now I've picked out 3 insanely awesome watches. The first one is the Vacheron Constantin. This is, in my opinion, the best blue that I've ever seen, or at least one of the best blues, because I love the Tudor Black Bay 58. If you were to ask me about 3 best blues on a watch, this would be one of them. And then of course you have an older reference. This is the Royal Oak in 39 millimeters. Still a bit big for my wrist because of that lug to lug, but this is just, I mean, every integrated steel sports watch based on this, right? So this is kind of the godfather. And then the third pick is a brand that I feel deserves a lot more praise, and that is Breguet. Breguet, wake up. This is such an incredible watch. Unfortunately, I haven't seen it enough. I haven't seen videos on this. Again, an older reference with the Lamania based movement, but just the most beautiful guilloche dial, blued hands, just incredible watch. Before I forget, I've got something for you. The first 10 customers that buy a watch, regardless of the price, from Swiss Connection Watches website using my reference, will get this beautiful handmade leather watch box that can store up to 10 watches. When you're on the website, if you want to buy any watch, just click the inquire button and make sure to mention that Watches with Abdullah sent you. The buying process is quite hands-on and personal, so they'll answer any question that you have. So just make sure to mention my channel name somewhere and you get your free box with a purchase of a watch. But remember, this only applies to the first 10 customers that use my referral. So do check out the website and see if you like something. I'll link everything in the description. Now let's get back to the video. Now I have picked out 5 watches from a lot of options. It wasn't as easy as I expected it to be, because you know, when you have a certain image in your mind and you look at pictures, but then when you see these watches in person, everything changes. That's exactly what happened to me. For the dress watch, I chose the Grand Seiko SPGM 235. This is, in my opinion, one of the most beautiful dials, period. The level of detail that's gone into the dial is just insane. Now, what Grand Seiko does really well is Zaratsu polish on the cases, and then you have these highlights of polishing on the indices, on the markers. That's fine. But here, the dial itself is so well done. There are so many layers of depth that you can just get lost into. Automatic high beat movement, GMT function, and the perfect case dimensions as well. I would go with this as my dress watch. Then we move on to the dive watch. When I saw the white Seamaster, I was like, okay, again, I changed my mind. In the end, that still wears a little too big. Even on the rubber strap, it just reaches the edge of my wrist with that lug-to-lug of around 50 millimeters. This Heritage Seamaster 300 does the job for me. 60 hours of power reserve, updated caliber. I love the fact that this is an underrated Seamaster. I love the fact that this can do all of the things that you want a Seamaster to do, to be that rugged tool watch, that reliable coaxial movement, but at the same time having that understated look, that vintage inspired look that originated from the 50s. To be honest, I don't care about the faux patina. I still like that. It's not as clinical as the modern version, and I'm fine with that. I like the vintage aesthetics of this watch. For my everyday watch, I was gonna go with the Rolex Explorer 1. That was a done deal. I had my eyes set on it. I've tried that watch many times. That in 36 millimeters to me is just an awesome watch. What I never expected was to like an Oyster Perpetual ivory dial. I never expected to like this watch until I saw it in person. I don't know what to say about this. There's nothing to add to this watch. It's the most basic, boring watch. It's a definition of a watch, but I still love it. These are the unexpected things that happen when you take a look at a watch in person versus on videos. This would be my pick. I can imagine myself wearing this with a t-shirt. I can imagine myself wearing this on a suit. Everything just pops. The indices just pop. It's really underrated, and I like that. Next one is a fun piece. Now for the fun piece, I was gonna go with Ming. For me, Ming has a very interesting design. They do use a Solitum-based movement, but it's been modified by Schwartz Etienne. So it has a slightly higher elevated performance to it. But I went with this. This is the Bell & Ross Alan Silberstein edition, and we have to thank Waco for making this happen because he convinced Belamic and Carlos to do this collaboration with Alan Silberstein because they weren't really into it at first. I love the fact that this is so Bell & Ross in its purest form with very functional, iconic, instrumental design, and then juxtaposing with Alan Silberstein's playful colors, with playful hands and shapes that don't belong anywhere on this watch. And it just fascinates me on so many levels. For me, coming from an architectural background, this is such an interesting watch. It is a watch that would be a case study. It's a lecture on design, on how two simple designs can just come together and create an outrageous design, an outrageous result. And I love that. I love that this is such a fun talking piece. Finally, the Grail watch. For me, Vacheron Constantin Overseas is such a great watch. Now here's the thing. When you look at the Holy Trinity, you look at Patek Philippe and AP and Vacheron, I prefer Vacheron Constantin as a brand. As a brand, I feel like when you look at their individual models, all of them are so strong with their offerings. So you have the 56, you have the Patrimony, you have the Traditional, you have the Heritage, you have the Historic Collection, and you have this Overseas. Within each of those, there are so many models to choose from. And that's why I feel like even without Gerald Genta, the Overseas is such an exceptional piece. It is such a beautiful design. This is one of the best blues. With the bracelet, it does wear slightly big on my wrist, but you also get a rubber strap with this and a leather strap. So I would definitely rock this on a strap, and I think it would wear really well then. So this would be my Grail. So that's it. That's my collection, my 5-watch collection. this was a lot of fun. And this is the thing about places like this. You can just come in, pick out a watch that you like. There are some new pieces, there are some pre-owned pieces, some pieces that are discontinued, some from early 2000s, and there's such a mixture of different prices and different pieces. One of the issues that I see with pre-owned watches is that you miss out on the experience. You know, you save some money, but you buy the watch online, there's not really that moment of, there's not really a moment of celebration there. But this place is designed in a way that you still enjoy that. You still have that moment and you still make that memory. So I really like this place. Do check them out. I'll link them in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.